outside Wynyard Station at George Street, Sydney.
Crossing George Street.
Looking in front on Hunter Street. Sydney trams coming towards me. Going down Hunter Street, which will lead to Macquarie Street. This is where most of the financial institutions are in the city. Used to work here for quite some time, for 25 years or so, and then for the last 10 years I was working outside of the city, which was actually quite boring compared to working in the city. Coming down to the junction of Pitt Street. Kids on skateboards. Heading down Hunter Street towards Macquarie Street. We're looking at Macquarie Street now. Right in front is the Sydney Mitchell Library. This is the new wing of the Mitchell Library. There's an older wing on further on the left, which you can see. It's quite an interesting place, and it's one of the historical buildings around Sydney.
Moving down Water Street, St. Paul. That will come to St. Paul.
Going down Macquarie Street, on the left hand side is the Sydney Hospital and the Eye Hospital, and also on the right you will be able to see the New South Wales House of Parliament, and on the right hand side are professional offices for mostly medical practices.
The old Treasury, the Mint, on the left.
Riding into Hyde Park. The fountain is called the Archibald Fountain, and on the left hand side you can get a glimpse of the St. Mary's Cathedral. It's not as crowded as usual because of the COVID-19.
More fountain on the left. That was Cathedral.
Hyde Park stretches from the Macquarie Street at the Domains and to Oxford Street, which leads to the eastern suburbs of Sydney. I'm not too sure if you can, if you are allowed to ride bicycle in the park. I don't think so, but I'm risking it. A couple of policemen there. They don't seem to, you know, to care a lot about me riding bicycle in the park.
Hyde Park leading down to
this is my first trial of using voice over in DaVinci. Now I'm heading out to exiting the town hall. Going down Park Street towards Town Hall. Not much fun riding among the buses. Drivers here are not too friendly at all. Well, no one is bloody friendly to cyclists anyway. In front is the town hall, city council building, town hall station, riding towards World Square and Chinatown. Still at town hall, and leading towards World Square. Riding towards down George Street. Sorry, riding down George Street towards World Square. Bloody hell! They block off the cycle lanes. You got to ride on the footpath, which you are not supposed to do. So, can't win as a cyclist in Sydney. stopping at World Square to get some the PGY Tech suction cup from the DJI store.
There's Chinatown in Sydney.
It's Chinatown in Sydney, just outside the Paris Market.
Here market.
This is a view of the Paris Market and Chinatown leading down to Darling Harbour.
On the left hand side is the Paris market. They're selling knickknacks at so-called cheap prices, but it's not cheap anymore.
You can get a lot of rubbish from the Paris Market, you know, for exorbitant prices. This is going down to Darling Harbour. Used to be Sydney Convention Centre, but an entertainment centre, but it has been knocked down and being the entertainment centre is now developed elsewhere.
Into the Darling Harbour now.
We're in Darling Harbour now. Riding to the main part of Darling Harbour. In front, you can see the International Convention Centre. On the right hand side, which I'm now riding towards, is the Chinese Garden in Darling Harbour. You have to pay to get into the Chinese Garden.
Zooming around.
Not a lot of people around, like usual.
On the front, at the front is the convention center.
In front is the convention center. You can see ICC, which stands for International Convention Center. Riding towards the main part of Darling Harbour. During normal times, Darling Harbour can be quite busy because it's one of the main tourist attractions in Sydney.
No.
Going towards the main part of the Darling Harbour. on the right hand side you can see the mariner and the wharf.
This is the harbour. Quieter than usual because of the COVID-19.
Coming towards the the main part of Darling Harbour, I guess. It's
the city have a Ferris wheel, like in London, Paris.
Restaurants and food court on the left hand side. And in front you can see Pyrmont Bridge.
Right in front of Pyrmont Bridge.
From here you can see the Maritime Museum of Sydney.
Maritime Museum. You can see some of the retired naval ships docked here for display purposes.
Riding through the Maritime Museum, you have to pay a fee to get into the Maritime Museum, but I'm just riding around it.
Still part of the museum, Maritime Museum.
In front you can see the skyline of Sydney, and the building right in front is the Barangaroo Casino being built by James Packer. We are now at Pyrmont Bay. Yeah, you can catch the ferry from Pyrmont Bay back to Circular Quay, or you can go to Parramatta from Pyrmont Bay as well via ferry. Riding around the old warehouses of Pyrmont Bay.
On the right hand side.
On the right hand side, there's a tall ship which is being used for tourism.
For tourism. Still Pyrmont Bay.
We're still at Pyrmont Bay, looking in front at Barangaroo Casino.
One hell of a building.
cycling around Pyrmont Bay, and
Mariner,
all the
Bay.
boats and yachts dock at the marina here at Pyrmont Bay.
Boats owned by the
Uh,
Boston's of Sydney.
the apartments you can see on the left hand side, it's very expensive.
And in front there you can see the Star Casino.
There's another casino, the Star Casino. I have no interest in casino. I'm not a gambler. Nice day for a walk around along Pyrmont Bay, which a lot of people are doing today.
Pyrmont Bay. Quite a nice area to walk around. A relaxing walk.
Going around along Darling Harbour and Pyrmont Bay is actually quite a big walk around.
It's nice to see
And
without all the freaking traffic. Traffic in Sydney.
I'm having a good time riding my bicycle here with no traffic and fighting against the traffic and risking my life.
James Becker. By the time it's finished, I wonder if we will still be running it. Pyrmont Bay itself is quite, a huge area to walk around in. From here you can go to the fish market, but I wouldn't bother going to the fish market because everything is open.
From Pyrmont Bay, you can go to the Sydney Fish Market,
It's not exactly excellent.
but I would not recommend it because the fish market is rather run down, and the food there is expensive and of low quality. It's just not worth it.
The old site of Pyrmont Bay.
We're now looking at the outside of Pyrmont Bay. You can see this sandstone, and they have built on top of the sandstone.
When the first settlement landed
So
here,
modern development with some preservation of the past.
Nothing much in this part, so I think I'll turn around.
Turning back now to PM to Pyrmont Bay and to Darling Harbour.
Well,
Hope you're enjoying this tour of Pyrmont Bay.
weather is quite pleasant for cycling around, cool, around 20 degrees Celsius.
We riding back now to the Maritime Museum at Darling Harbour.
Pyrmont Bay.
You can see the skyline of Sydney from here.
And onto the wharf itself. Right in front you can see Sydney Tower, Centrepoint Tower, and the skyline of Sydney.
We now back at the Sydney Maritime Museum and Pyrmont Bay ferry terminal itself, where you can catch the ferry to wherever you want to go.
Heading back to the city from Pyrmont Bay.
Again, you can see the Sydney skyline. Riding just in front of the Maritime Museum. Heading back to Darling Harbour and to Pyrmont Bridge.
Skyline of the city again from Pyrmont Bay itself. I think I'll head back to Darling Harbour to get a drink, and then it's about time to go home. Yeah. Doing all this to test the
This is now at Darling Harbour itself.
M1 lavalier microphone hooked to the DJI Osmo Action using Sonova interface.
Voiceover is being done with the DaVinci Resolve.
Osmo Action is mounted
using the Boya BY MM1 microphone.
What I don't like about this setup is that there are wires hanging everywhere. It would have been better with a wireless system, but
This microphone is different from the BY M1 which I was using when cycling around, and
whereas the BY M1 is only
and commenting, doing the commentary on.
Australian. Back to Darling Harbour again.
Back at the main part of Darling Harbour, and looking for a place to park the bike so that I can get a drink and then start riding back to Sydney Town Hall to catch a train back.
Find somewhere to park the bike, get a drink, then head home. Heading back to
I'm now heading back
catching a train
to town hall
back to apartment.
and riding towards Piermont Bridge.
Right in front is the Sydney skyline.
From Piermont Bridge, I'll be riding towards town hall, where I will end the recording of the video. I'm now at Piermont Bridge. On Piermont Bridge itself,
Up on Piermont Bridge itself.
and again you can see the Sydney skyline.
Heading down hall to be precise.
On the left hand side is the Sydney Aquarium, and Barangaroo, where you can take a nice walk towards Barangaroo from the wharf on the left hand side.
Certain parts still being rebuilt. IMAX is going through renovations at the moment.
Coming towards the city, as the view gets larger and larger of the city buildings.
Take a lift.
Have to get a lift out to the next level in order to cross to Sydney. Now on the other side of the bridge now, and heading towards Sydney. In front is the Centrepoint Tower, I'm now heading towards Kent Street. And then to York Street, and I'll be turning right to head back to Town Hall. Well, this is the end of my voiceover. I hope I've been successful in doing a reasonable voiceover. As I said, this is my first trial. I think it's easier just to do the commentary as you're doing the video instead of doing a voiceover, because voiceover does take a long time to do. In front, again, you can see the Queen Victoria building.
On your left hand side is Queen Victoria building.
Riding among the buses again.
Where all the buses are.
Breathing all the smoke.
Bus drivers of Sydney, not exactly friendly.
In front is the Sydney Town Hall itself. Is one of the I guess you can say historical building. Not much of historical buildings around Sydney. Not like in London or France or in Europe in general. One thing that's lacking in Sydney is actually historical, sites. Well, I hope you enjoy the tour of the Sydney. I'm now heading towards the lift to get the lift down to the platform for the rail to head home to Artarmon. Thank you very much for watching and listening to my commentary. Thank you.